Freakier Friday is a fantasy comedy directed by Nisha Ganatra of Late Night and The High Note fame, written by Jordan Weiss, who rewrote Elise Hollander's script. The movie is produced by Walt Disney Pictures and is the sequel to 2003's Freaky Friday, which is based on Mary Rodgers' 1972 novel. The movie serves as the seventh in the franchise. 22 years after Anna, played once again by Lindsay Lohan, and Tess, played once again by Jamie Lee Curtis, magically swapped bodies, Anna is a busy music producer and manager who has the help of her mother Tess in raising teenage daughter Harper, played by Julia Butters of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood fame. Harper soon clashes with British immigrant Lily Reyes, played by Sophia Hammonds of The Absence of Eden fame, which brings Anna and Lily's dad together in the principal's office. The dysfunctional family soon has a run-in with a fortune teller, and again, wackiness ensues. Amy Doherty of the High Note fame composed the score. The movie premiered at the El Capitan Theatre in Los Angeles and went on to receive generally positive reviews from critics, gaining a Rotten Tomatoes rating of 73%, with the critical consensus stating, Freakier Friday doesn't reinvent the original story so much as it swaps the formula around for a frothy good time, with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan easily slipping back into roles that fit them like mixed and matched gloves. Polled audiences gave the movie an A. The movie has made a worldwide box office total of $44.5 million off of a budget of $42 million. So Marisa, what did you think of Freakier Friday?
Well, the first film came out in 2003, so I was already into my 20s, and I did see this on video at some stage, but it wasn't a big, important...
On what?
Yeah, on DVD. Yes, I'm old. But it wasn't a big, important film for me. But I know that this film, particularly for millennials, was very important. It was an important film for them when they were young. The sequel is kind of mostly made for them. I was brought up on the Jodie Foster version. I'm old. So there are a lot of references in this film that you'll get much more out of this film if you've seen the first one. Have you seen the first one?
Well, I ran out of time. I was going to watch it before this, but then I thought, no, I'll watch this. Then I'll watch the first one, a bit like a prequel. But after watching this, I sort of lost the zest to do it.
No, look, fair enough. Several characters, several jokes, several moments will make much more sense once you've seen the original. So know that going in, that there will be things that you don't understand if you haven't seen the first one. It's not going to make or break it whether you understand the film or not, but there are lots of characters and references, Easter eggs, if you like, some of them for people who were fans of the first one. It pays good service to those people. Those people are going to really enjoy it. If you liked the first one, you will probably really like this. I, on the other hand... And the reason you'll like it is because these characters are great. Lohan and Curtis have great chemistry together. They really do work well together. And they're both playing other characters and they have a lot of fun with it. I can see that they would have had a lot of fun making this film. Jamie Lee Curtis is, with a 15-year-old running her body is quite funny. And I certainly related to a lot of the, oh my God, your knees hurt like all the time. And I'm like, yeah, it's called being old. And all those age jokes, which I thought were quite funny, which of course aren't in the first one because the age difference is not as great in the first one. The film, though, it doesn't have enough for its run time. There's a lot of padding in this film. There's a lot of, let's do a montage, let's do a crazy dress-up thing, let's have another montage, let's have some jokes from the first film. So it ends up being a bit thin. There are moments in here that are quite fun, particularly Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, moments with them, but overall, it just takes forever to get to the end. You know where it's going to go, and it's just annoying getting there.
I thought it took forever to get to our inciting incident. This is a body swap comedy, so we're waiting for them just to swap bodies and let's get into the wackiness. I mean, we looked at 4 Letters of Love the other week.
But you need to know who they are so you can recognize them when they're swapped.
Well, that's the thing. So we've got a blended family here as well. We've got 4 body swaps this time instead of 2, and there's a lot of setup. And there's a lot here as well that I thought, hang on, this language they were using, this very sort of soft parenting style, is this part of the joke? Is this part of the generational shenanigans that we're going to get into later? Because I found the beginning to this really quite hard to get through. It felt like I was watching a Diane Keaton comedy. It was so weak. And then as soon as we get a body swap, it kind of hits its stride when we do have those fashion offs and the fun of being older and the fun of being younger, being able to eat whatever you want and all that type of thing. That's really fun stuff. But just getting through the slog of setting everything up took a bit. And then also, I mean, I don't know if there's any real rules to this type of thing, but I would have thought this would have been a family curse, having 3 generations of the same family swapping bodies. But we've got not even a stepdaughter yet, a potential stepdaughter getting into the mix. And so the lesson to be learned here is to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, come to an understanding with each other, and then poof, magic again. We've all swapped bodies and because we all understand everyone's point of view. But I reckon it would have been enough if we had the daughter swapping bodies with the grandma and all that type of thing going forward, because sometimes I actually lost track of who was supposed to be who.
Yeah.
We've got 2 Jumanji movies where it works so much better. And we've got 4 or 5 characters there. We've got the video game avatars being played by the players. And we even have gender swaps and race swaps and age swaps. And that, for some reason, worked a bit better in terms of the layout and remembering who was who. I don't know if it's because of the Rock's fantastic acting or if maybe they flashed to the gamers' faces or something. I can't really remember, but that I had a better track of what was going on in that one.
Yeah, I agree. Having 4 meant that you had to keep going. So which one's in her? Which one's in that one? Who is this? And it's because you're looking at someone, you've got to remember who you're looking at and then also who is inside who you're looking at. And you have to do it 4 times. So yeah, it's not just a direct character. You've got to remember who they are and what that means, as well as who is inside them and what that means. Yeah, I certainly found it much harder to keep track of than the first one. I remember not having trouble in Jumanji, and I'm not sure why either, but certainly I spent a couple of moments where I'm like, hang on, she's in who, whatever. Yeah. No, I agree.
Was the first one a better movie? Because the director of the first one went on to direct Mean Girls, and the writers also went off to do some good stuff as well. One of them did the musical of Pretty in Pink, and the other one did Hairspray.
Right. Well, the first film had better source material. It had the book to base it on, not just characters from the book. So it had a stronger storyline and it was simpler storyline because there was only the 2 people, mother and daughter, who were having arguments about everything. Here, there's so many cross arguments as well as intertwined arguments as well as intergenerational as well as between each other. So there's a lot of different things that needed to come together here, whereas the first one was in a way streamlined yet filled with enough story and other characters to make it. I didn't love it because Jodie Foster was the thing and I was a bit old for the film when it came out, but I remember not hating it. I didn't hate this film. I just think there was a lot of padding that they could have either cut back, made it 90 minutes and made it really tight, or added more story or something, because there are scenes in this that just drag and you're like, come on guys, move it along. You're just hanging around for no reason.
Drag, but also I found ending quite abruptly as well. Like really quickly edited to jump onto the next thing. And to be fair, this is a Disney Plus movie for children. I was thinking, is this going like a bat out of hell to reach that audience? An audience that are going to be watching this, looking at the iPhone as well, with competition, with TikTok and very small grabs of comedy. And so that's why sometimes this seemed to be a joke, cut to something else, joke, cut to something else, some intergenerational humor, boom, to something else. Did Freaky Friday, the first one, flow a bit more?
From memory, again, I haven't seen it in probably 20 years. Yes. Yeah. But again, they have good chemistry together. Curtis and Lowen, they played each other quite well, and they do the same here, kind of. I mean, they're playing different characters here, but I mean, they're having fun with it. And when you go with the fun of it, it's fun, and there are some cringy, silly moments, and Jamie Lee Curtis is the standout. She's great.
Jamie Lee gives so much to this movie. Like, she is really a director's actor, isn't she? Just does everything that's told of her, and she just goes for broke. She's fantastic. Lindsay Lohan, when, doing the flipping of the hair and trying to be flirtatious, that's good, dumb fun. It's interesting how they've done this in a way to get the old crowd in, you and me, but also the newbies in through the younger characters as well. And so this is trying to double an audience of a legacy sequel. Fans of the original, you might not need to have watched the first one to enjoy this one if you're a Gen Z, because there's lots of generational jokes in here. It hurt me when they said, Facebook, this is something old people do to keep track of each other.
Yep. And Coldplay, that's an old people's band.
That works.
Yes, the old people jokes were funny. I did enjoy those.
Yeah. I also noticed the longer that this went on, the better it got as well. And again, I don't know if it's because I got more and more into it, but we have those fun montages and we develop into a great looking production. So the thing sort of dovetails into a big third act. And so that was something that was notably absent in Bride Hard, where that was pretty one note all the way through. So at least this develops. We've got the dad character here, played by Manny Jacinto. He was from The Good Place and The Acolyte, and he was in Top Gun 2 Maverick, but his scenes got really shortened down. He's very good, but he doesn't really have much to do, I guess. I think he's an actor who's a bit of an up-and-comer.
Yeah, he couldn't be more different from his character in The Good Place. So if you're familiar with him from that, you're just going to go, what? This is crazy. This can't be him. This can't be Jason. He does stand out in that way. But yeah, he doesn't have a lot to do. He's not the point of the movie.
He's a very grounded character compared to all the other wackiness going on.
Yeah.
It's fun also to see that Julia Butters, she was the small actor in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Leonardo DiCaprio. You know the girl that he's acting against?
Oh, yes, right. Yep.
Yeah, so it's fun to see her here.
Yeah, because she's only 16, so baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
Just a baby. So this is Lindsay Lohan's first theatrically released leading role for 18 years. And Jamie Lee Curtis was the one who persuaded her to do the project because they've been friends ever since 2003.
Oh, great.
Which I think is quite lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all this shenanigans between adding more people who get body swapped, maybe that's in response to all the other movies in this franchise, because there's been straight to streaming Freaky Fridays.
Yeah, I didn't know about those.
Yeah, so the seventh thing. So maybe they really tried to do something different because perhaps it was time to, because the old formula has been done so many times. This sort of shenanigans has happened in a lot of different movies, obviously. I really like Freaky with Vince Vaughn as a serial killer, body swapping with a cheerleader. And there's also another one with Ryan Reynolds and Justin Bateman, where one's a playboy and the other one's a family man. They swap. So this isn't new stuff, but it's good to see the one which originated it all has had a sequel after all this time. And also, I did pick up a couple of references to the first one, even though I didn't see it. And so the swoony boyfriends from the first one, you get the idea that he actually fell for Jamie Lee's character in the body swap in the first one. So that wasn't lost on me. That's actually quite hilarious. And so I think you're right, Marisa. I think if you had seen the first one, there's a lot more to chew on, but there are a couple of jokes in there for newbies as well. So Marisa, how many Fridays out of 5 are you going to give Freakier Friday?
2.5, 3. It's good fun in a lot of places. It's also a bit thin in a lot of places, unnecessarily complex with 4 characters, trying to remember who's who, and it drags a little bit in places as well. But overall, there was stuff to like in here, just not quite as tight as the first, of course.
Oh yeah, this was unnecessarily convoluted, setting everything up. It would have been better if it was streamlined. And it was a really weak beginning, but it manages to crawl itself out of that into something that's quite fun and quite rewarding for people who've seen the first one. So I'll give Freakier Friday 2.5 Fridays out of 5. And that's about it from us at The Movie Club. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Jump on to www.themovieclub.net for our past podcasts and written reviews. There you find links to our Facebook page, Twitter, Spotify, and YouTube account. So make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us there.